Hey, by the way, this is just in. The Biden administration is going to ask for $13 billion. $33 billion to send over to Ukraine. $20 billion would end homelessness in the United States. Do you see that you're ruled by rapacious oligarchs who don't give a shit about you at all?
You have that much money and you buy Twitter? That's really stupid. I'm thinking about that right now while I'm reading this.
So if you can pull $33 billion out of your ass like that to give to another country, and what this is not about Ukraine. This is about giving. I'm going to bet you $20 billion of that off the top goes right to the military industrial. Goes right to Raytheon. It goes right to Raytheon. So again, if we could just find a way for Raytheon to fix homelessness, we would be able to get it done. And they're getting $14 billion authorized so far. And that's just to drag on the war. The money is intended to last until the end of the fiscal year on September 30th and provide Ukraine with more sustained guaranteed or support as the war drags on. President Biden urged Congress Thursday to approve his request as quickly as possible, saying the security assistance was coming at a pivotal time for Ukraine. So there's only one way this war is going to end, or there could be two ways: a nuclear annihilation, or you guys are going to have to negotiate with Putin and give him exactly what he wants, which is a separation of the Donbass area and no NATO joining for Ukraine. That everyone knows that's how this is going to end. And what they're doing is they're using the Ukraine people as cannon fodder. Who? Joe Biden, NATO, the military-industrial complex, and big oil, because they want to sell more liquefied natural gas to Europe. Right now, Putin sells like 40% of the energy needs to Europe. They want in on that, and that's what this is about. There's a Nord Stream pipeline that they made Germany between Russia and Germany, and they just shut it down. So that's what this is all about. There's only one way this is going to end, and that's with peace negotiation with Putin, where the Donbass is separate and Ukraine remains neutral. That everyone knows that's how this is going to end. And what they're doing there is just dragging out a war so they can enrich the military-industrial complex. This is why Joe Biden was allowed to end the Afghan war. Why? Because they had another war waiting. That's why. We need this bill to support Ukraine in its fight for freedom, Biden told me. The cost of this fight is not cheap, but caving to aggression is going to be more We're not caving. That's not our country.
It's not even our war.
It's not our country.
Why are you talking about somebody else's war like that?
It's not our country. Biden said he was concerned about recent Russian comments that paint the conflict as being between NATO and the U.S. and Russia. You know why he's concerned? Because that's the truth.
He painted it that way just now, saying that.
That's right. He just painted it that way. You're right. They're not true. They do concern me because it shows the desperation that Russia is feeling about their abject failure, Biden said. No one should be making idle comments about the use of nuclear weapons or the possibility that they'd use that. We are prepared for whatever they do. So that's him doing exactly what he said no one should do. We're prepared for whatever they do. We're prepared for nuclear war. That's what he's saying.
Idle comments about chemical weapons are fine, too, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The bulk of the request is for military and security assistance and a total of $20 billion to provide weapons. So that is $20 billion goes right to the Raytheon. Replenish U.S. arms. Blah, 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 blah. An additional $8.5 billion is being requested in economic assistance to the Ukrainian government, and another $3 billion for humanitarian and food security funding. Hey, I got people living underneath a bridge right down the street from my house. How about we spread some funding to those people? No? No. Okay. This is from Robert Durden. He says, just today, Biden sent Nazis $33 billion. He created a ministry of truth and allowed for the censoring and freezing of funds of numerous journalists. But tell me again how Trump was Hitler.
Well, I think when Hitler made a ministry of truth, his person wasn't an absolute moron.
Yeah, Goebbels was kind of smart. FYI, $20 billion could end homelessness. Uniparty, #VoteBlue.
In Ukraine?
Why is the president of the United States asking for an additional $33 billion to help Ukraine and not an additional $33 billion to replace every single lead pipe in America? We have at least 1.2 million children who are suffering from lead poisoning here in the United States right now. Do you need to know why you shouldn't vote for Democrats or Republicans anymore? And if you do, you're a chump and a sucker? Because you are.
Now, if the kids drink the water through a mask, does that take some of the lead out?
Here's what Michael Tracy tweeted out. He said, White House fact sheet says part of the mammoth $33 billion spending package it's requesting for Ukraine will be to support independent media. Because nothing screams independent like being directly funded by the U.S. government as part of its information warfare initiative. That's what they're doing. They're going to try to help independent media.
What does that mean?
That means they're going to give money to fucking people to do propaganda for them.
Oh,
like Bellingcat.
Oh.
Ryan Knight says the anti-war position on Ukraine is to push for peace talks, not send more weapons to a frickin' war zone. But there is no profit in peace, and since profit is the only thing the U.S. empire cares about, Biden is requesting $33 billion to send more weapons to Ukraine and continue this proxy war with Russia. Another $33 billion? I stand with Raytheon. So congratulations, you dumb fuckers. You elected George Bush again. And you're all party to war, and you're easily manipulated and propagandized into being for war. I went out to dinner last night. A couple nights ago, I went out to dinner with my old roommate, and of course, my old roommate is worried about Donald Trump still. The nuclear bomb being under his finger, and he's worried about Putin getting emboldened by us not pushing back in Ukraine, and then China will see that, and they'll go into Taiwan. Do you see how the propaganda works?
He's not worried that they're emboldened by watching Joe Biden try to say kleptocracy?
No, he's worried. He's worried about what ever the television tells him to be worried about.
In those words, too?
In those words.
They say it?
Yes.
Not President Swiss Cheese Brain.
No.
Talking about, okay.
We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at jimmydorcomedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.